All this morning kind of put me a little behind schedule, but we're here. We made it. So it doesn't matter because we still made it. Oh, so honestly, we're right on time. It's supposed to happen anyways. Oh yeah. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Right into it. Right into it. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Today is day 17. Day 17 of the One Year Bible. Hope you guys are ready for today's reading. I know I am. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, turned right to it. First flip. First flip. Okay. I'm getting good at that. I'm getting good at that. I'm not gonna lie. We're pretty nice at that. First flip is amazing. First flip is crazy. First flip is insane. First flip is insane. Oh man. Okay. So today is January. It's technically January the 17th in our reading, but it's January the 15th for us. Um, because we started 2 days early, so we'll finish 2 days early. You feel me? December 29th will be our last reading. Um, not forever, but of the One Year Bible, right? And today's readings are going to be coming from Genesis 31, 35, 1 through 36, 43. Excuse me. I'm trying to read. I'm restarting my computer. As I told you before, for some reason, just currently trying to figure it out. For some reason, when I connect my AirPods to my laptop, my audio messes up slightly, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. So I had to restart my computer, which is, which is kind.
Please start now. Connected to MIE.
And there goes my speaker. Disconnected my headphones from my phone. It's mad funny. This speaker also has a mind of its own. I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna I'm gonna let that speaker go. I'm currently trying to let that speaker like completely die because it turns on by itself if I turn anything on. Hey, what's up, JBL? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the stream, bro. It turns on by itself, you know, regardless of if I turn it on myself. It's pretty. It's pretty. I do. I don't know if you can tell, right? I don't know if you can tell, right? I got the hidden fates. I got the XY evolutions sealed. You feel me? And I got the, I got the Blastoise XY evolutions sealed. You feel me? And then I got the 151, and then also my medal, baby. Oh, my medal from the military. Oh, cause my service was amazing. Uh, I didn't play that. Okay, looks like my headphone. It was playing into my headphones, which is nice because I didn't want that to play out loud. Nothing crazy, but it has nothing to do with what we're doing. Hey, appreciate that. I never knew what to say to people when they would say that to me when I was in the military. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I don't. You really gotta thank me, bro. This was my choice. You feel me? This was my choice. Hey, what's up, Sam? This was my choice, my guy. I made this choice myself. You feel me? You don't have to say thank you for that. Oh man, that's funny. But okay, let's get this. Let's get this. Let's get this. Okay. Okay. Uh, I want to go back to that playlist I was playing yesterday, though. I want to play that playlist I was playing yesterday. Let me see if I can go find it in my history. But good morning, Chad. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. Let me see if I can find the one I was listening to. Ooh, we found it. We're gonna be reading. Woo. We're reading the one day Bible, the 1 year Bible. We're on day 17. I was trying to get I'm trying to get the music playing real quick in the background as we get into intro. We're gonna be reading from Genesis 35, 136, verse 43. I just feel like you gotta have the music playing. When I was in church, well, not when I was in church, when I was a kid in my granddad's church, right? Right before the word. No, I'm not off. I'm not off. I just finished one of my calls, and I got like a 30-minute window to do this real quick. So, you know, I want to get to my reading. You feel me? So, taking my little window to do this. But when my granddad before he would read the word, he would read the before you get to read the word, right? He'd we just finished singing in the choir and just slowly fade away, fade away,
and then he get right into the word. You feel me? Oh man. Oh man. And I felt like that was I felt like that was super clean. I felt like it was super clean. So I just do now I do it myself. I'm not gonna lie. That's my inspiration for that one. But okay, chat, let's go ahead and get into today's readings from Genesis 35, 1 to 36, verse 43. Then God said to Jacob, get ready and move to Bethel and settle there. Build an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau. So Jacob told everyone in his household, get rid of all your pagan idols, purify yourselves, and put on a clean clothing. We are now going to Bethel, where I will build an altar to the God who answered my prayers when I was in distress. He has been with me wherever I have gone. So they gave Jacob all their pagan idols and earrings, and he buried them under the great tree near Shechem. As they set out, a terror from God spread over the people in all the towns of that area. So no one attacked Jacob's family. Eventually, Jacob and his household arrived at Luz, also called Bethel in Canaan. Jacob built an altar there and named the place El Bethel, which means God of Bethel, because God had appeared to him there when he was fleeing from his brother Esau. Soon after this, Rebekah's old nurse, Deborah, died. She was buried underneath an oak tree in the valley below Bethel. Ever since, the tree has been called Alan Bakuth, which means oak of weeping. Now that Jacob had returned from Padam Aram, God appeared to him again at Bethel. God blessed him, saying, your name is Jacob, but you will not be called Jacob any longer. From now on, your name will be Israel. So God renamed him Israel. Then God said, I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. You will become a great nation, even many nations. Kings will be among your descendants. And I will give you the land I once gave to Abraham and Isaac. Yes, I will give it to you and your descendants after you. Then God went up from the place where he had spoken to Jacob. Jacob set up a stone pillar to mark the place where God had spoken to him. Then he poured wine over it as an offering to God and anointed the pillar with olive oil. And Jacob named the place Bethel, which means house of God, because God had spoken to him there. Leaving Bethel, Jacob and his clan moved on toward Ephrath. But Rachel went into labor while they were still some distance away. Her labor pains were intense. After a very hard delivery, the midwife finally exclaimed, don't be afraid, you have another son. Rachel was about to die, but with her last breath, she named the baby Ben Oni, which means son of my sorrow. The baby's father, however, called him Benjamin, which means son of my right hand. So Rachel died and was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. Jacob set up a stone monument over Rachel's grave, and they can be seen there to this day. Oh, hey. Seen there to this day. Then Jacob traveled on and camped beyond Midgol Eder. While he was living there, Reuben had intercourse with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Jacob soon heard about it. These are the names of the 12 sons of Jacob. The sons of Leah were Reuben, Jacob's oldest son, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel were Joseph and Benjamin. The sons of Bilhah, Rachel's servant, were Dan, and Naphtali. The sons of Zippah, Leah's servant, were Gad and Asher. These are the names of the sons who were born to Jacob at Padam Aram. So Jacob returned to his father, Isaac, in Mamre, which is near Kireth Arba, now called Hebron, where Abram and Isaac had both lived as foreigners. Isaac lived for 180 years. Then he breathed his last breath and died at the ripe old age, joining his ancestors in death. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. This is the account of the descendants of Esau, also known as Edom. Esau married two young women from Canaan, Adah and the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Oholibamah, the daughter of Anan and granddaughter of Zibeon in Hivite. He also married his cousin Basmeth, who was the daughter of Ishmael and a sister of Naboth. Adah gave birth to a son named Eliphaz. For Esau, Basmeth gave birth to a son named Ruel. Oholibamah gave birth to sons named Jush, Jalam, and Korah. All these sons were born to Esau in the land of Canaan. How's the name Judah? My mom named me and my two brothers. All my names from the Bible. Caleb, Joshua, Judah's. That's me. that is pretty cool, right? Right? My first name is You know, the first part of my name is that. I thought it was pretty cool, but like everybody has my name, so it's like pretty funny. All these sons were born to Esau in the land of Canaan. Esau took his wives, his children, and his entire household, along with his livestock and cattle, all the wealth he had acquired in the land of Canaan, and moved away from his brother Jacob. There was not enough land to support them both, because of all the livestock and possessions they had acquired. So Esau, also known as Edom, settled in the hill country of Seir. This is the account of Esau's descendants and the Edomites, who lived in the hill country of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Esau's wife, Adah, and Reuel, the son of Esau's wife, Basemath. The descendants of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, Garam, and Kenaz. Timnah, the concubine of Esau's son, Eliphaz, gave birth to a son named Alamach. These are the descendants of Esau's wife, Adah. The descendants of Reuel were Nahath, Zerah, Shamna, and Mizah. These are the descendants of Esau's wife, Basemath. Esau also had sons through Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah, and granddaughter of Zibeon. Their names were Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the descendants of Esau, who became the leaders of various clans. The descendants of Esau's oldest sons, Eliphaz, became leaders of the clans of Timon, Omar, Zepho, Canaan, and Korah, Garam, and Amalek. These are the clan leaders in the land of Edom, who descended from Eliphaz. All these were descendants of Esau's wife Adah. The descendants of Esau's son Reuel became the leaders of the clans of Nahath, Zerah, Shammah, and Mizah. These are the clan leaders in the land of Edom, who descended from Reuel. All these were descendants of Esau's wife Basemath. The descendants of Esau and his wife Oholibamah became leaders of the clans of Jeush, Jalam, and Korah. These are the clan leaders who descended from Esau's wife Oholibamah, the daughter of Anah. These are the clans descended from Esau, also known as Edom, identified by their clan leaders. These are the names of the tribes and descended from Seir the Horite. They lived in the land of Edom: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishan, Ezer, and Dishan. These were the Horite clan leaders, the descendants of Seir, who lived in the land of Edom. The descendants of Lotan were Hori and Himah. The Lotan sister was named Timnah. The descendants of Shobal were Alvin, Manahath, Ebal, Shephel, and Onah. The descendants of Zibeon were Ai and Anah. This is Anah who discovered the hot springs in the wilderness while he was grazing his father's donkeys. The descendants of Anah were his son Dishan and his daughter Oholibamah. The descendants of Dishan were Himdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Karan. The descendants of Ezer were Bilhan, Zaban, and Akan. The descendants of Dishan were Uz and Aran. So these were the leaders of the Horite clans: Lotan, Shobal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishan. The Horite clans are named after their clan leaders, who lived in the land of Seir. These are the kings who ruled in the land of Edom, before any king ruled over the Israelites. Bilah, son of Beor, who ruled in Edom from his city of Dinhabah, where Bela died. When Bela died, Jabab, son of Zerah from Basra, became the king in his place. When Jabab died, Husham from the land of the Timonites became king in his place. When Husham died, Hadad, son of Bedad, became king in his place and ruled from the city of Avith. He was the one who defeated the Midianites in the land of Moab. When Hadad died, Samlah from the city of Masrekah became the king in his place. When Samlah died, Shaul from the city of Rehoboth on the river became the king in his place. When Shaul died, Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, became king in his place. When Baal Hanan, son of Akbor, died, Hadad became king in his place and ruled from the city of Pau. His wife was Mehetabel, the daughter of Matred, and the granddaughter of Mazabi. These are the names of the leaders of the clans descended from Esau, who lived in the places named for them: Timnah, Avah, Jetheth, Oholibamah, Elah, Pinon, Kenaz, Teman, Mibzar, Magdel, and Aram. These are the leaders of the clans of Edom, listed according to their settlements in the land they occupied. They all descended from Esau, the ancestor of the Edomites. And now, chat, we're going to get into, hey, how cool is that? Facts. Appreciate that. Appreciate the like. Matthew 12, 1 through 21. At about that time, Jesus was walking through some grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, so they began breaking off some heads of grain and eating them. But some Pharisees saw them do it and protested. "Look, your disciples are breaking the law by harvesting grain on the Sabbath." Jesus said to them, haven't you read in the scriptures what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went to the house of God, and he and his companions broke the law by eating the sacred loaves of bread that only the priests were allowed to eat. And have you read in the law of Moses that the priest on duty in the temple may work on the Sabbath? I tell you, there is one here who is even greater than the temple. But you would not have condemned my innocent disciples if you knew the meaning of this scripture. I want you to show mercy, not offer sacrifices, for the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath. Then Jesus went over to the synagogue, where he noticed a man with a deformed hand. The Pharisees asked Jesus, does the law permit a person to work by healing on the Sabbath? They were hoping he would say yes, so he could bring charges against him. Wow, they try to finesse him. That's crazy. So they could bring charges against him. And he answered, if you had a sheep that fell into a well on the Sabbath, wouldn't you work to pull it out? Of course you would. And how much more valuable is a person than a sheep? Yes, the law permits a person to do good on the Sabbath. Then he said to the man, hold out your hand. So the man held out his hand, and it was restored, just like the other one. Then the Pharisees called a meeting to plot how to kill Jesus. But Jesus knew what they were planning, so he left that area, and many people followed him. He healed all the sick among them, but he warned them not to reveal who he was. This fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah concerning him. Look at my servant, whom I have chosen. He is my beloved, who pleases me. I will put my spirit upon him, and he will proclaim justice to the nations. He will not fight or shout or raise his voice in public. He will not crush a weakest reed or put out a flickering candle. Finally, he will call justice to be victorious, and his name will be the hope of all the world. Now we're going to get into Psalms 15, 1 through 5. A Psalm of David. Who may worship in your sanctuary, Lord? Who may enter your presence on your holy hill? Those who lead blameless lives and do what is right, speaking the truth from sincere hearts. Those who refuse to gossip or harm their neighbors or speak evil to their friends. Those who despise flagrant sinners and honor the faithful followers of the Lord and keep their promises even when it hurts. Those who lend money without charging interest and who cannot be bribed to lie about their innocent. Such people will stand firm forever. Now we're going to get into Proverbs 3:21 through 26. My child, don't lose sight of common sense and discernment. Hang on to them, for they will refresh your soul. They are like jewels on a necklace. They keep you safe on your way, and your feet will not stumble. You can go to bed without fear. You will lie down and sleep soundly. You need not to be afraid of sudden disaster or the destruction that comes upon the wicked. For the Lord is your security. He will keep your foot from being caught in a trap. And now, just like every other chapter, hey, what's up, Ken? What's your snowman emoji? Oh, your penguin emoji. We're gonna read this excerpt called "Rules, Regulations, and Redemptive Relationships." Rules, regulations, and redemptive relationships. Rules maintain order, keep us within proper boundaries, and define standards to maintain. But parental rules will produce only rebellion and resentment unless they are part of a redemptive relationship full of mercy, compassion, and love. Jesus knew the religious leaders' rules. He challenged their thinking, declaring the human-made Sabbath rules and sacrificing were less important than showing mercy and doing good. We often lose common sense and discernment when our total focus is on keeping rules and controlling regulations rather than on Christ and redemptive relationships. Let's read that one more time. Rules, regulations, and redemptive relationships. Rules maintain order, keep us within proper boundaries, and define standards to maintain. But parental rules reproduce only rebellion and resentment unless they are part of a redemptive relationship full of mercy, compassion, and love. Jesus knew the religious leaders' rules. He challenged their thinking, declaring that human-made Sabbath rules and sacrifices were less important than showing mercy and doing good. We often lose common sense and discernment when our total focus is on keeping rules and controlling regulations rather than on Christ and redemptive relationships. And that is the end of day 17. So what we want to do is we want to read Matthew 12, 1 through 21. That really goes over what we just read there in Rules, Regulations, and Redemptive Relationships. Matthew 12, 1 through 21. At about that time, Jesus was walking through some grain fields on the Sabbath. His disciples were hungry, so they began breaking off some heads of grain and eating them. But some Pharisees saw them do it and protested. Look, your disciples are breaking the law by harvesting grain on the Sabbath. Jesus said to them, haven't you read in the scriptures what David did when he and his companions were hungry? He went to the house of God, and he and his companions broke the law by eating the sacred loaves of bread that only the priests are allowed to eat. And haven't you read in the law of Moses that the priest on duty in the temple may work on the Sabbath? I tell you, there is one who is even greater than the temple. But you would not have condemned my innocent disciples if you knew the meaning of this scripture. I want to show you mercy, not offer sacrifices. For the Son of Man is Lord even over the Sabbath. Then Jesus went over to their synagogue, where he noticed a man with a deformed hand. The Pharisees asked Jesus, does the law permit a person to work by healing on the Sabbath? They were hoping he would say yes, so they could bring charges against him. And he answered, if you had sheep that fell into a well on the Sabbath, wouldn't you work to pull it out? Of course you would. And how much more valuable is a person than a sheep? Yes, the law permits a person to do good on the Sabbath. Then he said to the man, hold out your hand. So the man held out his hand, and it was restored, just like the other one. Then the Pharisees called a meeting to plot how to kill Jesus. But Jesus knew what they were planning, so he left that area, and many people followed him. He healed all the sick among them, but he warned them not to reveal who he was. This fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah concerning him. Look at my servant, whom I have chosen. He is my beloved, who pleases me. I will put spirit upon him, and he will proclaim justice to the nations. He will not fight or shout or raise his voice in public. He will not crush the weakest reed or put out a flickering candle. Finally, he will cause justice to be victorious, and his name will be the hope of all the world. And I feel like this perfectly ties into everything we've been reading. In every book that we have read recently, I feel like they are all perfectly tied into each other. And my book right here, perfectly titled for this moment specifically, Common Sense. Perfectly titled Common Sense, specifically for this moment today. I didn't know why I bought this book, but it was for today. It was for this moment specifically, you know? But common sense. I feel like a lot of people are lacking common sense. You feel me? I feel like a lot of people are lacking common sense and the sensibilities of things that are so common that we so much forget how easy it is and how simple it can be. So, why has this tied into everything that we have read recently? Well, last night we were reading, the yesterday's reading, right, was about forgiveness. How Esau forgave his brother Jacob, even though Jacob wronged him, stole all his inheritance, and then, and then, um, but then you notice the difference between Esau and Jacob. Jacob had so many trials and tribulations because he was always trying to finesse somebody, right? He was always trying to use his ability to finesse somebody. But Esau practiced forgiveness. He learned forgiveness, and then he had a fruitful life. We just went over all of Esau's descendants and all of their rule and how even though his place was stolen from him, he still had a place, right? Now we're going to get into what we read yesterday from the Master Key System, right? How how God is omnipresent, omnipotent, and omniscient. God is everything, everywhere, all at once, right? So, since God can create nothing other than God himself, right? That means that we also are everything, everywhere, all at once. So what should we be doing since we are everything, everywhere, all at once, right? That means we should be sharing good favor, good tidings, and good faith, right? With everywhere, everything, all at once. Because there is nobody outside of yourself. And this is what this is coming down to, right? And now we're going to go over to what Jesus just said here. I tell you, there is one here who is even greater than the temple. But you would not have condemned my innocent disciples if you knew the meaning of this scripture, right? He is telling you that there is nothing greater out here. There's nothing greater. We are everything, everywhere, all at once. We are everything, everywhere, all at once, right? The same way that you would help out your friend, you should help out somebody that's not your friend. The same way that you would Do something on a day when you're supposed to be resting, right? Then you wouldn't make an excuse to not do the same thing on the same day you would be resting, right? Since you are everything everywhere all at once, you have to let that soak in. You have to let that soak into you. You have to realize the things that Jesus says in from his scripture, from what Jesus says out of his mouth in the Bible so far. The Son of Man, which would be us, because we are the Son of Men, right? The Son of Man can do all things. That's what Jesus said earlier in our reading so far. Can do all things, right? So, and then he also stated, God also stated here before in our earlier reading, that God created us in his own image, right? So if God is omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent, that means in a sense, I'm gonna clarify this. In a sense, right? We have the same, I am too. I'm actually pretty hungry. In a sense, we are the same, right? In a sense, we are the same. We are everything everywhere all at once. That means that there is nothing outside of you. All of this is tying in so perfectly. And have common sense, man. Don't make it so complicated. Common sense, right, is not overcomplicated things. Common sense is not overcomplicated things. People who don't have common sense overcomplicate everything, right? People who don't have any common sense overcomplicate literally everything. Common sense is not complicated. It's common. It is common sense. It is something that's extremely simple because it is common, right? So you exercise your common sense. When you're reading, right? It's not that deep. I made a YouTube short the other day when I was singing that it's not that deep because it's not that deep. Nothing is that deep. It's not that deep. It's just not that deep, bro. It's just seriously just not that deep. You just read it for what it is, bro. Use your common sense. Use your ability to have common sense because it's not that deep. Nothing is that deep. And really only. I appreciate that, King. I appreciate that Ken. I called you King. That's your name, anyways. King Ken. You feel me? But it's common. It's not that deep, bro. It's common sense. Use your ability of common sense when you're reading these texts. This is common sense. It's not deep, bro. This is not that deep. This is not that deep. Nothing in here is that deep. You can see it for exactly what it is, right? Hey, that boy Jacob has trials and tribulations because he always trying to finesse somebody. It's not that deep. You can see that. People that around you that be trying to finesse people, they be finessing for a little while and then they come back right to them. It's not that deep. It's really that simple. People that forgive, move, and don't really have. You met people who don't cause problems to nobody, right? And they say and you meet them, talk about their life, and you always feel like their life is going so smoothly because it's not that deep, bro. Just don't try to finesse folks. Live a nice life. Be cool to people. Treat people with respect. It's not that deep, right? It's not that deep. That's all I'm saying, right? And it's just one or two ways, bro. Either you can be the person that's trying to finesse all the time, and then you feel good in the moment, but then later in life you have to deal with the repercussions of your finessing, right? Or you're going to just live a nice life, be cool to everybody around you because you are literally everything everywhere all at once. So even every person that you think is outside of you is you. So treat everybody. That's what it means. Treat everybody like you would treat yourself. Treat everybody like you would treat yourself, right? So that means if you treating people bad, that means you're gonna treat yourself bad. So what you want to do is treat everybody good. Treat everybody nicely. Be respectful to your neighbors. Be respectful to everybody around you. Be respectful to the stuff that's around you, bro. You facts. Be respectful to the stuff that's around you. It's not that deep. It's common sense. You feel me? It's not that deep. It's common sense, right? Use your ability to have common sense in these situations. Hey, if somebody's being a douche or somebody being whatever they want to be, right? You just remember, bro. The thing is with people like that, they just don't know. They usually just don't know. In their minds, it's them against everybody else, right? All you have to do is don't respond to them with the same energy they responded to you with. You don't have to reciprocate that energy. It's common sense. You don't have to do that. And by you not reciprocating that energy, they more than likely not gonna keep reciprocating the energy to you. The same way I do with people in the chat when they come here talking nonsense. I don't reciprocate the energy that they're giving. When they come here talking crazy stuff, I don't reciprocate energy. I tell them have a great day, be peaceful, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, regardless of what they say in this chat, right? And if you've been in here, you've seen me do it several times. And a lot of the times, those people stay around and come back to the chat, right? Or they change their whole attitude up. It's not that deep, bro. It's really not that deep. It's common sense. But That's day 17. That's day 17. Tomorrow will be day 18. You feel me? Tomorrow will be day 18, and we're gonna get into it. I'm glad you joined me today for today's reading. I'm glad we're exercising our ability to have common sense. And I appreciate you. And it's time to hit this outro. It's time to hit this outro. We all got that limitless core, baby. I appreciate you. I might even love you, but I'm for sure glad you woke up today. And I'm gonna see you on the next stream, which will be later on today. So y'all have a great one, and we out. Peace.